Very good morning, students. I, S. Patel, welcome you to study from home. Today I am going to explain you Chapter 5 Key Elements of Democratic Government, Class 6, subject Social and Political Life. Now we need to resolve conflict, right? See, India is a multicultural country. As you learned in our previous chapter, the unity in diversity. India is a diverse country in terms of class, caste, language, region, religion. In fact, climate. The climate of India is also diverse, as you learn in geography, right? So it would be difficult to satisfy people at a one time. Okay, conflict occurred because India is a multicultural country, right? So maybe people people are not agree with each other, right? They have some issues, they have some differences with each other. So what is role of government in conflict? The role of government is to resolve conflict. Conflict not only between one ethnic group and another ethnic group, but sometimes conflict occur between government and people. Sometimes conflict occur between two communities. At the same time, sometimes conflict occur between government and the one particular group. For example, in my previous class, I give you an example of farmer. These days, there is a conflict between government and farmer, right? All group of farmer are not satisfied with the recently passed farmer bill. That is not, we are not getting to what that bill is about, but I would like to draw attention. I would like to give you an example of conflict. So conflict between farmer and government, and this farmer come out with banners, and they will reach to the Delhi and protest against the government. This is not our subject to discuss, but I just give you an example. Now, in the Maya story, you read about how conflict can often lead to violence and death because one group decides that it is all right to use force to prevent the other group from the protesting. Okay, what happened in conflict? Generally, a group of people come out with banner, with slogan. Sometimes what happens that people protest or people oppose with in a very aggressive way, right? Sometimes they damage public property, sometimes they burn buses, sometimes they break public properties, they burn the tire, right? So in that situation, the role of government is to resolve conflict. See, one group use their force. At the same time, government also use force to minimize or to mute that strike. That's why same time if people will start throwing stone, at the same time police will also use their force to mute that strike. So in that situation, as I told you, in case of that Maya, in story of that Maya, conflict occur when people, different culture, region or economic background do not get along with each other, or when some among them feel they are being discriminated against. People may use violence means to settle their differences. Like sometimes some ethnical group feel that we are being treated unequally, then it is obvious that they oppose government or the oppressor. For example, I think in 2017 Dalits come out with banner and slogan where 6 Dalit boys have been beaten brutally by some religious fanatic groups in Unnao, and that was a trigger to the strike. Okay, and Dalit come out with slogans and banner. And so when people or when group of people feel that we are not being treated equally, then the conflict occur, right? This lead to the fear and tension among others living in an area. The government is responsible for helping to resolve conflict. As I told you, when people started damaging public property, then it is the responsibility of government to control, to mute those people. Okay, while it is true that democracy allows people to participate, okay, democracy allow people to participate, it doesn't mean that we damage public property, we burn tires, we throw stones on each other, right? See, but it happens sometimes when a group of people disagree or are disappointed with government. Nowadays it's happening, the Punjab. Conflict occur when people, let's read about some of the conflict in our society and the role of the government in resolving them. Right? Religious possession and celebration can sometimes lead the conflict. For example, the route procession may lead to conflict. The government, particularly the police, play important role in getting representative of concerned community to meet and try to arrive at solution. Right? Sometimes religious celebration. Right? As I told you, India is a multicultural or diverse country in terms of religion. We have 7 major religions: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Parsi, Jain, Bauddha. Okay, so we have 6 or 7 religions. Hinduism is a major religion. Second major religion is Islam, then Christianity, Parsi, Bauddha, Jain. So sometimes religious celebration may also lead the conflict between people. In that situation, what the role of government is to call the responsible person of particular community or a leader of particular community. They call the leader of particular community and ask to resolve, ask to negotiate with the people and sort out the issue. Let me give you an example of that example. I think it's not in book, but let me give you an example of Khalistan movement in 1985 or before 1985. The Punjabi community, Sikh community, demand for a separate nation that is known as a Khalistan. They demand a separate nation, separate land for their people, for Punjab, for Sikh. Right? That movement is known as a Khalistan movement. They demand a separate nation, and they have issue. They have an issue with government, and government try to resolve this issue with. Initially, they started negotiation with leader of that movement, but negotiation couldn't work. Then government used force. Government started Mission Blue Star in Amritsar, Golden Temple, and I guess 200 to 300 people have been killed by the government, right? By the army. Actually, government deployed 10,000 of armed force in that Sikh temple, and they have been killed. That sometimes government may use force to resolve conflict. Another conflict is river. Rivers too can become a source of conflict between states. For example, Kaveri River between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. They are fighting for the water. Let me give you an example of China. Brahmaputra River Brahmaputra. Tibet is under control of China, and the Brahmaputra River flow through the Tibet. And this Chinese government want to construct a dam. If they construct a dam, then how we will get water of Brahmaputra? So that river lead conflict between two nations, right? Okay. Flow through the another end and third. The sharing of a river water between different states that the river goes through is becoming an issue of conflict. Okay. For example, you may have heard about the Kaveri water dispute, right? Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, as I told you. The water stored in a Krishna Rajas Sagar Dam in Karnataka is used for irrigation a number of districts and for meeting the needs of the city of Bangalore. The water stored in Mattur Dam in Tamil Nadu is used for crops grown in the delta region of the source. A conflict arises because both dams are on same river. As I told you, sometimes river lead to, see students, sometimes language also lead to the conflict. Let me give you an example of Sri Lanka. The majority of people speaks Sinhala. Okay, Sri Lankan people speak Sinhala, right? And there are three ethnic groups. One is Sri Lankan, second is Indian Tamilian, and third is Sri Lankan Tamilian. The Sri Lankan speaks Sinhala. Indian Tamilian speaks Tamil, and Sri Lankan Tamilian speaks Tamil. So this Sinhala and Tamil language lead conflict between Sinhala speaking people and Tamil speaking people, right? And as you know, our Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi lost his life. Okay, so language also lead conflict between between two group, right? The government also recognizes this and make a special provision for a group within society that are unequal. For instance, in our society, there is a general tendency to value and care for the boy child or more than the girl, right? This this also lead a conflict, right? In our society, generally boy have been given more value to the girl, and that lead conflict. Nowadays, girl also is being educated, okay, and they also demand their equal rights. Nowadays, government also made a law that equal share in father property. Before it was not that. Okay, before that law, girls were not being given equal share in property. But nowadays, okay, so that issue has been solved by the government that girls should also get equal share in father property, right? Now, equality and justice. One of the key ideas of the democratic government is commitment to equality and justice. Equality and justice are inseparable, right? Whoever and whatever, but government must work in maintain equality and justice. For example, our preamble. If you read our preamble, you will show that we the people of India, okay, solemnly resolve our constitution, right? Equality, justice, fraternity, secularism, socialism. Okay, so equality and justice are inseparable. Okay, whoever the person, we all are equal before the law, right? You and I cannot escape, right? So we all are equal, whether it is Prime Minister, Chief Minister, President, Chief Justice, police officer, or common man or a civilian, all are equal before the law, right? It doesn't mean that so and so person is prime minister or so and so person is police officer, so punishment would be less. No, it's not like that. The earlier practice of untouchability is now banned by the law, right? Dalits are not given an equal right, equal position, are not treated equally. They are being discriminated by the people. Okay, they are being treated unequally. They don't have a right to education. They are being, you know, they are not entering mainstream society. If they want to educate, they have to sit. They are not, they are not mixed with this upper class people. Upper caste people are not allowed them with. They are not allowed them. Okay, in their society, in their school. Okay, but this practice of untouchability have been removed by the government with law. They introduce reservation system, like 49% of seats have been reserved for the untouchables and Dalit. The law of atrocity, that no one can speak on their caste, right? So that law is known as atrocity. This group of people were denied education, transport or medical facilities, and even the chance to offer prayer. Dr. Ambedkar, father of Constitution, whom you have read about earlier in this book, and may other like him, realize that such practice must not continue, and justice can only be achieved when people are treated equally. Right? We cannot achieve justice with inequality. Okay, the government also recognize this and make a special provisions for a group within society that are unequal. For instance, in our society there is a general tendency to value care. Okay, as I give you an example, this means that society does not value girl and boy child equally, and this is injustice. In this context, the government's step to promote justice by providing special provisions can be enable girls to overcome injustice they are subjected to. Thus, it is possible that fees for a girl might be a view or lowered in government school. For example, in earlier, parents don't allow their girl to get education in college, but I guess Rajiv Gandhi, under the Kanya Keravani, and that is a Gujarati word, Kanya Keravani, under that provision, girls have been given concession in fees, like 70% concession in school fee, college fee,